Website woes. Is your website making a bad impression? Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I'm a marketing strategist at Ashford Digital. And we have Tracy Taylor, and she's a social media guru over at TNT Marketing. And today we're talking about website updates and how important they are to your business, because now even more people are actually tuning into websites and looking at your business online to see if they're going to work with you, because there's not as much of that in-person brick and mortar experience, and things are getting locked down again, which is so sad, but it is true. Washington did, I believe, just recently do that. So what is your website looking like? Is it needing some attention? We're going to talk about that and give you guys 7 things that you should just do a quick audit to make sure that you are paying attention to and that you are actually updating your website. A lot of people actually do a refresh at the end of the year or around this time. I actually talked to some of my financial planner friends, and they're like, well, there's different things you can do to invest for your business, but one of them is putting dollars into your marketing and the image that's being portrayed from your website. So throughout any of this, if you guys have questions, I do, both Tracy and I do audits on websites, social media, anything on your marketing strategy. We do a 1 hour, I do a 1 hour marketing strategy that takes a look at what you're doing. So if you don't have time or you need help doing the process that we're going to talk about now, let us know. So
what the what of the world, that's right. What we do.
Right. But if you take a look at your website, and I do this, I tend to not touch my website for most of the year, and I'm a web designer. So it's a little bit, I obviously have the resources, but I would highly recommend the first thing that you look at is the focus and what you're doing on your website. Is your target audience the same? One, are you still targeting those same people, or has your target audience changed a little bit since everything's happened? If it's the same, are you currently speaking to their pain points on the website?
Right.
A lot of people put up a website and they're like, oh, it's beautiful. It does everything I want it to do.
Gorgeous, but right? It's functional.
Functional and function before fashion, right?
Yeah. I feel like if I were to go back and pull emails from the time that we transferred my website to you, I'm going to bet 95% of my changes happen between October and December, maybe January. But I'm going to say that October to January is when I go, oh, I need to make all these changes. And so
because you haven't looked.
I would be willing to put money on it if I pulled all of our emails from the last 4 or 5 years, that literally that's when I email you. And I'm like, hey, can we change this? And can we do this? Because you do change your focus. Maybe you want,
align with your goals.
Keyword. Yeah. You have different goals. And so I feel like I just want people to know and understand that it's okay.
It's okay. We expect it. We are telling you a little bit early, just so it happens in November and not like 2 weeks before the end of the year.
To be live January 1st.
And that's, we do have a larger amount of team members in marketing in general for Black Friday, for the year end. That's really, really common. So definitely don't worry. Reach out to us if that is what you need help with. But the focus is so important, and a lot of people do what they think needs to be on the website, and they're not putting themselves in their customers' shoes to say what is it they care about, and we tend to put pictures.
What would I want?
Yeah, and we tend to put pictures of ourselves as the key thing, but what people want to see is themselves in your website. Can they immediately identify with anything that the visuals that are on the website? So I would just say, look at your focus and figure out if it's still talking to your audience and if it talks to their pain points. If we went to my website, one of the biggest things, in fact, I will try to share it so I can point out what kind of shifted on on my website over time, talking to my, always talk to your target audience. They're going to be the best way. Like, what is it that you work with me? What's the main reason you work with me?
Why do you choose me? What's the deal? We have Michael who says hi.
Hey,
so
Michael.
Hi, Michael Ryan.
Yes, Recite. Oh my gosh, I love his app. It is awesome. It keeps all of your emails and all communications in one spot, which is critical for agencies. Awesome. I know. So check that out. But I'm going to show you guys real quick on the focus part. So, and I am happy to be a guinea pig to show you guys what I would do differently and in doing my website over and having a lot of focus. It's great, smart digital marketing, but does it talk to the target audience about their pain point? Not so much. It is more, digital marketing is more than a website, ads and emails. That's true. But this part of, do you want this is what people really want. It's not above the fold. So for me, being, constructive criticism on my own website, knowing that I'm doing the same process for myself right now. So, and then being able to say, how can we help you? That is my main focus. Right. So we're going to get into what else you need to work on your website, but just simple things like that. First things first, is it at the very, very top, what you're trying to communicate? Yes. So if I can figure out how to stop sharing, there we go. Okay. So logo and branding is the next one. And do you want to go into that a little bit, Tracy?
I mean, when you look at logo and branding, I know people don't really think about it this way, but I view that as the personality of the business. And so is your logo fun? Does it speak to people? Is it, is it your favorite colors? Are your logo colors hard to transpose or transfer into your website? Because I know if you look at my website and Tessa's, our colors are really similar. So it's fun to do that with, but it took me a while. I knew in the beginning when anybody asked me, what do you want your colors to be? I said, well, teal is a no-brainer because I love teal. I love gray and I love burgundy/crimson. And so I love those colors. And luckily for me, when we put it all together, it did work, and it does work in a website. There are some colors, there are some things I have seen transfer, and I'm like, your logo is amazing. And we go to pull the colors in for a website, and it's horrible.
It's true. It's true.
It's really weird. And I feel so bad for these people because I'm like, your logo is amazing. However, it's not going to work in a website.
Right. And branding's more than just your logo. It's also how you make people feel. So what is it that you want people to feel when they come to work with you? And what is your expertise? What do you want to be known for? Those two things come in together, as well as your branding. And we have a momentum party tomorrow, which obviously it has closed registration, but we are doing a free momentum party in December. So everyone should mark on their calendar for that. I'll put more in the chat, but this one's about branding and specifically looking at what it is that you want to be known for. So Tracy wants to be known for social media, awesomeness, to be the social media guru. So her website's going to have a lot of fun, hashtags, social, emoji type things like that's kind of theme. Photos. Yeah. And social feeds. We need to put a feed on your website really bad. But, is it communicating that? Is your branding
about that? I don't know what happened. I do know what happened, but anyway. Yeah.
Well, we should. Because
see, now we know it's between October and January.
Well, we're doing it too, which is the fun part. So, but Tracy mentioned this before, is it the most recent logo? Sometimes you've changed your logo throughout the year and maybe it's not updated everywhere, which includes PDFs or anything that you have on the website, right? So does all of the materials match?
Right. Your download form. Do you have a freebie? Do they get an email and then your logo looks like this on the website and you get something, and then now you have somebody that's confused because they're coming to you for these services. They need to get everything together.
Right. So check
all together now. When you look at your branding, when you look at your business cards, when you look at any kind of communication you're going to do with them, does it send one message.
Mm-hmm. So signature lines in emails,
Yeah.
those are all, it's a pain. If you change your logo, it's a huge pain to make everything updated.
Can I bring up one more point to this?
Yes.
I think, this is my favorite thing to say. Your photos, your pictures. And I'm going to say that. Tessa knows she can hear me now, but here, let me tell you guys this. There is nothing worse than loving somebody's website, having an only phone conversation with them, loving them on LinkedIn, communicating with them in chat or email, and then you either go and you have a now super popular Zoom meeting, or you go meet them in person and they look nothing like this picture that you have in their head. And you kind of walk up, and I don't know if everybody is like, I'm pretty facial expression anyway. It's my face goes, are you serious? I mean, you've seen me. I have 4 to 6 pair of glasses. For the most part, they're all the same shape. So that's not going to kill you. But if you know me for the last 5 or 6 years, I have all this hair, but it stays dark. It stays long. And the funny part is, people say all the time, they go, what, have you ever thought of cutting it? Yes, but my God, have you thought of that's going to be an all day, that's going to be an event. I have to get haircut, I have to get it colored, then I have to have photos, then I have to change all my social profile
and website and everything.
Email Tessa and say, oh my God, this is an emergency, change this now. I'm like, you guys, a $20 haircut is going to end up costing me $500. What if I don't like the haircut? What if I grow it all back out? Then we have to go get new pictures all over again.
It's true.
This is the thing. And so people look at me, and they've asked my husband, and he goes, no, the hair's staying. It's long. It's pretty. Everybody likes it. But it's an event if she goes to cut it. And it's not a $20 haircut at that point. I mean,
right? That's a good point. That's a good point. But your photos.
Yeah, your photos. And because you want people to know, that, and obviously we change. I mean, don't get me wrong, but and if I cut my hair to say here, it's fine, whatever, with my pictures. But if I go drastic to the shoulders or above, that's a whole nother ballgame. So
Tracy's branding is very focused on her. So if you go to her website, it's her photo as the top. Yeah. I am a little bit more bald has its perks. Hilarious. That's true. Right. And
check it out. Like, mark that in. That is just 1,000% successful as far as I'm concerned with your photos, because it doesn't matter if you change them now or if your photos are 5 years old. Fine. It's all fine.
It's true. But Michael's got, his app is focused. He would maybe have to change as many of his pictures if something changes, but do keep it up to date, because when people it is just a good idea to, update your social media profiles with your current picture, update your Zoom photo, just overall branding.
It's good to change your photos every now and then. So, I mean, I get more and have new photos. If I want to, I can go back and use older photos, but I still look the same. And so it's okay.
Yes. Cool. So I know we love to talk. So services and pricing, a lot of people do put services on their website. So if you've just double check, a lot of people don't even have their current services or the focus that is the same audience that you picked in the beginning. Is that service still resonating with them?
Right.
We could offer services for marketing. Maybe we have something that's like, the bot, let's say it's setting up a bot. Right. Maybe at the end of the year, that specific tool is outdated. We want to make sure that we pull off any of the old material that's not relevant anymore, because you don't want, the beauty of Google is that it will index everything that you've done in the past if you're doing things right. Yeah. But that may be how people are coming into you. And if it's not even an available service, they're just going to get mad.
Right. And you also, one thing too, with that, when we talk about services and pricing, maybe you don't need to necessarily change what you call something. Maybe you need to update your descriptions. I don't know if you've done that, Tessa, a couple of times, but I know I've sent you that in the past. I'm like, wait a minute. What I used to want this to say is not what I want it to say now. And so we have to just change the description of things. That makes a very big issue.
It does. It makes it work better
annually, because I don't know if you're like some people, but the pricing I had 7 years ago was not the pricing I have now.
It shouldn't be.
No, absolutely not. So you want to increase and update your pricing effective for the new year so that you don't quote somebody and then they go to your website and they're like, well, your website's, $200 cheaper, because then you have to honor that price.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not.
And sometimes people don't put pricing on their website. So I know with mine, it's very difficult. I can't really quote a website without knowing all the aspects of what a website needs to have. But always, make sure that, one of the things that we don't have in here, actually, I'll stick it in with contact info. So one of the things that you want to make sure is updated on your site is your phone number, name, address, phone number. But be careful with this because it's also tied into what Google Analytics knows. So here's the big picture on this is Google will ask you, Google My Business, you're going to get a postcard sent to you at a specific address that needs to be a street address, not a PO box. That's how Google is going to list you in the mapping services. And so sometimes, with Michael's, it's an app, so it's not geographically centered. You still need an email. You still need an address for email sending. So you have to have, that's the CAN spam laws. You have to have an address. So if your address has changed, just know that you're going to have to change it. If you change it on your website, you also need to change it everywhere else.
Everywhere. That, let me just tell you, without taking up a lot of time in like 30 seconds, when I moved my office, it was a logistical nightmare.
It's true.
And it shouldn't have been. And I actually had I had to get a hold of Google support, and we had a conversation. And I told the guy, I said, I've done this before and I've never had this experience. And I am not happy with how this goes, because I then have to, if I have a client that we go through and change everything, and then they go through the same Google nightmare I did, I then have to charge them because I cannot just take hours and hours of my time to help them fix it. It is a process, and it's sometimes not pleasant, but I'm going to tell you, once you get it done, it's magical.
Yes. And there are ways that you can do it. I mean, obviously, Tracy helps with the name, address, phone number, or NAP details. I know that sounds really funny, but that's what they call it, NAP details on your website. But you can, make sure that your contact info is on the website. It's the correct phone number. Test the phone number. A lot of people will put, or their marketing companies will put tracking phone numbers on websites. Let me tell you that there's nothing worse than finding out that your tracking phone number does not work because it's so old. Maybe you've switched service providers. You're not using that number anymore. It just goes to a do.
Or somebody not getting the messages if somebody leaves a voicemail.
It goes to an old team member. Who knows? So check your phone number, call your own number, make sure it works.
See what happens. I actually had an issue not too long ago, Tessa, with mine, and it was because we kept the same phone number, but we switched service providers. Oh. And so my voicemail stayed the same. Everything worked beautifully except how I was receiving the phone calls. And what happened was something got kind of lopsided with the permanent number with 911 address. So because I have on my cell phone is where the number comes into. And so that way I can decipher a business call from a personal call and obviously not go, hello or whatever. You're thinking it's the 80-second spam call that came in for today and you want to tell me about my extended car warranty or something of the nature. Or I want to cruise, or I have, I don't know, whatever. And so I had to call him, and I had to redo the 911 thing, because now when you call my business number, it rings through to my phone as TNT marketing. So I then can answer the phone correctly. But before, all my calls were going to voicemail because I have it set up in my phone that if I don't recognize the number, it doesn't bother me. And I don't know how long that happened before we caught it. So probably a month or two. And I was mortified when I finally caught it. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do?
Right. But that's it. Test it, because you wouldn't have known. Well, you didn't see on your end. So, have a mystery shopper that looks at your website. Have Tracy or myself go in and look from a customer standpoint. because we don't know what you know, right? So we're not going to see the information on your website the same way if you let us mystery shop
Yep.
your website. So the next thing is forms and links along the same line. You don't want anything broken on the website. And there are tools that can tell us if a link on a website is broken, because you can imagine there's a lot of links, there's buttons, there's like literal hyperlinks, there's images, everything that's on a site. We can run tests where it shows us if there are broken links, but you could do the manual method if you're feeling like, you're really bored on Thanksgiving or day after and you want to double check your website. Go through and literally click on everything. There's two things that I personally stress me out about websites. If you click a link and it is intended to send you to the next page, leaving the old page behind, that's fine. But if it is something that's taking you off the website, make sure that you have an open in a new window feature, because if you go to social media, if someone clicks to go to follow you on social media, it needs to open in a new window so that they don't leave the website. The goal is to have people stay on your website as long as humanly possible. And have them go to more pages. So internally, you want those links to work. Double check your blogs. A lot of people have blogs and links inside the blogs that go back to service pages. Make sure you're checking all those, and then submit the forms on your website. And if somebody else is getting them, make sure that you are saying in that form that you submit, this is a test. Reply to me as soon as you see this. And if they never see it and you talk to them the next day and say, hey, I submitted a form, did you get it? Then you know that something's broken.
And make sure, along with links, I know Tessa and I both have this on our website, and we have to check it randomly for each other. And that is a link to our calendar to book those free marketing sessions with. And if you click it and it doesn't work, we want to know. So
that's a great point, because
I'm going to bring this up. There is nothing better, and I love this because I have the same link on my social platforms. I love waking up to, you have a new appointment. I'm like, oh, how cool is that? So you want to make sure that those things work. I know yours was broken at one point.
Yeah, mine actually, I switched calendar programs, right? And so you just saying that made me think, I think it goes to the old calendar, which is fine. I haven't turned off the old one, but you have to think about these things.
My form wasn't going to me for a while. We had to fix that. But you know what? We talk about these things. These are things most people on the average day will not think about for the next 12 months.
I know. So think about it right now. Go test your forms. The other thing on forms is that with a WordPress website, typically WordPress delivers emails through a system, and it can often get stuck in spam. So check your spam and make sure that you mark that form, mark it as not spam, and then make sure that you add that contact that's coming from, which oftentimes it might be you, which sounds really weird, but sending email to yourself will end up in spam. It's just the way that spam works. Is like so check your spam, make sure you mark it as important, and then if that delivery is still not working right, it is critical to your business, and you can actually have Mailgun or another mailing service set up inside your website to better deliver the emails. If you have an e-commerce website, what is it looking like to the people who are purchasing? Is the purchase working completely? Not part of this forms and links, but it is sort of, because anything that a person buys, you want to make sure that customer experience is 100% beautiful.
You want them to love it. You want them to have such a great experience. That's something people talk about customer service all the time. Extend the customer experience through your website and through your social platforms, because that is one way that they are going to give you word of mouth marketing, which is absolutely priceless.
Absolutely.
So get that through there. They go, oh my gosh, I did this. It was so nice, or whatever. So
social media. Exactly. And social media, what you mentioned just now about that being something that you are extending the customer service. So social media, we were thinking, make sure that your icons are on your website, that they link to the correct place, that people can get to them. Some links have changed in Facebook. So if you used to link to a live page, that link has changed. So maybe double check everything is working right and opening in a new window. But Tracy brought up a great point about social media, and that's that we also have to think about customer service on our social media platforms. A lot of people, including me, tend to not look at the extra areas of social media context. So if someone's not a friend of yours, there is a different place where messages go. And your page is judged on how fast you reply. So,
Yes.
so check it
Yes.
out. It won't even show that you reply quickly if you don't reply quickly. So but it will show you as an admin in your page
Yes.
that you do not reply. Mine, I looked at it the other day for one of my clients, and it said like 6 days is their reply time or something like that. It doesn't show on the public page because it's too slow. So
Yeah,
Facebook's not, I know, right? And I said,
No.
so just so you know,
No.
but they didn't know where that information was coming in.
Right.
Facebook changed their whole layout. Everything looks different.
They
I mean,
did.
I'm equally.
It's not all ready yet. So there's still a lot of features that are not on there. I had a client call me the other day panicking because we did a fundraiser for her. We still can't add the donate button.
Oh no.
We can't do the fundraiser right now.
Shoot.
It's not correct. And I don't know. We're working on it, but there are times that you're able, if they have it ready, you can click back to the old platform and sometimes you can use those features. But right now on my desktop, I don't have that option. Wow. They took it away from me for the moment, but on my phone, which is obviously how I do stuff a lot too, usually when we make a post, it will come up and say, do you want to add this button? And right now it's not preempting anything. So it's a matter, they're in the migration period where we're not going to get those things for a little while.
And I went back to the old.
For 2 weeks, I couldn't go live in groups.
Yeah.
And that's just tragic to me because I pay to go live in some groups.
Right.
I'll just make a post. It's okay. The other day I couldn't go live, but it was not because of anything from Facebook. It was where I was and the internet wasn't strong enough to support the live video. So I just made a post and said, we're going to call it good for today. So,
well, and the other thing about social media too, is that those, like what you mentioned, as far as the new version versus old version, you can reset to the classic is what I think it's called in there. But you can only do it a certain number of times and then they take it away from you. Cause I've been doing it all the time. I'm like,
that's why I can't do it. I'm like,
so
back.
I know at some point Facebook will figure it out. It'll be all good. But, to double check your social media, go over to your social media channels and make sure that you know where you're picking up these emails or the messages from, and just set a time that you're going to do it every day so that you don't. So in the faster you reply, a lot of people ask me about that too. They're like, should I have an auto reply so it's always doing it? I'm like, but people get really frustrated with auto reply. So yes, but
it depends on the page. It depends on the page. I love auto replies on my trades clients because those people are searching for that reply. So it actually answers them to say, if you get this during these hours and this hours, email or call or text this number for immediate service. That is an absolute win for them because they're not, when somebody's plumbing goes down or their heater air goes out.
I was just thinking that.
Something crazy. They need that reply because if they don't, the person is literally on to the next page to get the reply.
Or just saying that you
going.
Right. And just saying that that this is the best way to reach me. I think that's, if you're not a Facebook person,
right,
and tell them how to reach you so that they can get that faster reply. That's all they're looking for. And so many people are on social media. So that's just the way that they're used to reaching out. So we're consider a bot possibly or chat. Online chat is another really good way to go. So last one on our list, and this one actually is, we're just going to throw in a couple things as far as ideas, but you want to make sure that your website is always adding value to the people that go to it. So it's not just a business card, it's something that's going to help them. One, to make a decision on you. So is there information that's frequently asked questions, videos? I know Tracy was talking about, do you have videos to kind of help people go through the process?
If you don't want to do video, here's a fun thing. If you don't want to do video, have some of your best clients and some of your favorite clients give you a 1 or 2 minute video testimonial. And we can always use that to put up because that's still video in your feed. And that's video that you don't have to use. You can do a video to introduce yourself. You can do those video you can do the
Explainer
video.
videos. Tracy does like video creation.
Video creation. Tessa and I should actually be putting these up every week as video on our site. So you can find a way to do video that's not just 100% you in front of the camera if you don't like it. There's multiple things to do, but that is amazing for people.
Yeah, and blogs are huge value and help people to get to know you. So podcasts, there's so many things that you can put on your website that add value, that convert, that help, that drive people back to your site after, because none of business is actually done in one transaction. Very rarely. Very rarely, unless it was like that toy that every kid is asking for. Right. In which case, it's probably just a direct buy.
That happens. I would refer that to the Cabbage Patch Kid that I had to have when I was 5 years old from my dad. And I described this Cabbage Patch Kid. I don't even know that I knew it existed, because she needed to have red hair, a passy, jeans, and a striped shirt.
So unless somebody is that person looking for the services that are 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was 5. If that didn't tell you I was going to be a business owner, I don't know what did. But love my dad's heart, love his heart wholly. He had a lady that worked at Toys R Us, and they found this Cabbage Patch off the truck, and he went and bought it. And believe it or not, she had red hair, a passy, a purple and white striped shirt, and jeans.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I cannot tell you. So if a 5-year-old can be that specific about a second baby doll, then think about how specific business owners are with when they have a problem or a pain point, they want you. And if you can solve all those things and all of these 7 things on your website, and if you transfer these onto social, you're going to be unstoppable next year. And after the train wreck of 2020, please let us help you do this. So we can all have an amazing year, because we just can't take any more junk
challenges. I know.
Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And I'm going to tell you, my husband got me this to bring in my desk.
Oh yeah. Show us.
Baby Yoda says we're done. And we are going to have an amazing 2021. I think it's going to be what 2020 was supposed to be, because I had all the things planned for this year, and I have gotten to do about, I don't know, maybe 6 things. So we're going to go at it really strong. And these 7 things that Tessa and I just discussed with you will help make your website stand out from your competitors. And just remember, sometimes they're not always your competition. They can be your best referral client.
Right.
So if you want to do a website audit, go check out your competition.
Yes. Oh, that is definitely part of the focus too. Gosh, we have so much advice and we have to run. So guys, let us know in the chat if this was helpful. And if you have any ideas on what you're going to change on your website, love to know. Yeah. And if you'd like to have a website audit done, let us know. Just hashtag website on this post, wherever you're seeing it at, and we will find it, or just click Messenger and Facebook. We're over on YouTube as well. So make sure you click to get reminders every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Absolutely.
We'll see y'all later.
Next week. Bye.